Two gay guys walk into a bakery to buy a cake and walk out with nothing. Now, if this doesn't sound very funny to you, you'd be right, and I'll tell you why. Good Marc TV morning. I want to ask you a quick question. If you had a product or service that you wanted to sell and somebody approached you wanting to buy that product or service and was willing to pay whatever you were going to charge, would you sell it to them? Yeah, it seems like a no-brainer, doesn't it? But you know what? It doesn't always seem to be that way. Let me explain. Back in 2012, David Mullins and Charlie Craig walk into a bakery owned by this guy, Jack Phillips. It's called Masterpiece Bakery. They go in there to buy a wedding cake because the two of them are getting married, which I might add is perfectly legal in the state of Colorado where this bake shop is located, and I believe in most states of the United States now. Anyway, the owner of the bake shop, Jack Phillips, refuses to sell them a wedding cake because he says that gay marriage goes against his Christian beliefs. Now here's what's interesting. He could be selling a cake to anybody else, no problem, but for whatever reason, he has decided that them buying a cake goes against his values, even though what they're doing has absolutely no impact on him at all. Now, when David and Charlie get turned away as customers, instead of just shrugging their shoulders, they choose to take it to court, where it's worked its way all the way up to the US Supreme Court, where as of the filming of this episode, a decision has yet to be made. But the two sides are basically questioning whether this guy, this Jack Phillips, has a right to turn away people based on really any belief that he sees goes against his values. Whereas the other group, or the other side, are saying that, you know what, you can't discriminate based on sexuality. Now, I'm not here to try to sway your decision either way, whether you want to support the baker or support the two guys who wanted to buy the cake. And the fact is, it doesn't matter. And I'm not even going to share my views on it because, again, it just doesn't matter. See, the thing is, I believe that it's all about business, and capitalism, I've always believed, should be the great equalizer. You see, in business, everybody is in it to turn a profit. I mean, that's it. It's that simple. You can break it down to doing good for the community and social causes and all this other stuff. But at the end of the day, if you own a business, you need to make money. If you don't make money, you're either running a charity or you're going to be out of business pretty soon. So my belief is that if someone's willing to pay you for your product and service and value that and appreciate it, well then why would you say no, especially with what they're doing has zero impact on you? I mean, think about it. If that baker had actually sold them the cake and this cake was amazing, do you know how many clients he could get in the gay community because word would spread? I mean, this guy would be like making a ton of money. And here's the thing, nobody would be telling him that he can't do or practice or believe whatever it is he's been. I mean, it doesn't matter. You can sell to really anybody. Or does it? You see, I think there are certain customers out there, a certain group that you should not be selling to, that you simply don't want as customers. Now, I'm not talking about things like race, gender, sexuality, religious beliefs, anything like that. No, I'm talking about another unique group of people that you just want to clean off the books. So right now, I'd like to share with you 4 groups that I think you should just turn away when you hear that phone ring and you know they're on the other end. Just don't pick it up. So the first one is ones that are smarter than you. That's right, customers who believe that they can do your job better than you, which is interesting because if they were that good at doing your job, wouldn't they already be doing it? No, of course not. But instead, you know what? They'll tell you how to do it, and it doesn't matter whether you're a dentist, a lawyer, a marketer, a consultant, an artist, whatever it is, they're going to tell you how to do your job. And I guarantee you, you will never do as good a job as they believe they could do. Another group you don't want as customers are those that are going to argue with you constantly about price. Now, I'm going to assume that you know how to price yourself in your local market. For those individuals who are going to question every penny that you charge, well, do you really want them as customers? I don't think so. You want people that see the value in what you bring, and well, it's also your responsibility to make sure they know about that value. But even then, you're going to get customers who are going to have a whole lot of issues with everything you charge for. Which brings us to number 3, and that is customers that don't value you. And I think this holds true in a lot of information-based or consulting-based industries like lawyers or consultants or marketing people, where customers will constantly call you asking for advice. You know, what would you do in this situation? Or what would you recommend in this case? Or all this kind of stuff. They'll ask you for information. But when it comes time to actually spending money with you to buy your products or services or to retain your services on a paid circumstance, no, they're nowhere to be found. But they're doing their own thing. They're trying to figure it out themselves because they don't want to pay you. But you know what? The minute they want free advice, they will call you first. Now you got to get these guys out of there, because I promise you, you're probably already in the hole with them with the amount of time you've spent giving them free advice. And you know what? They're never going to buy from you. They're never going to spend money. You got to come to terms with that. And finally, it's customers that are yeah, that's right. Assholes are a unique breed in the fact that they are just jackasses to everybody, especially you. They are going to complain about everything you do. They're going to complain about price. They are going to make your life miserable. Whatever you sell them, they are going to try to return. There's going to be a problem with every part of every transaction. And you know what? They're just not very nice to deal with. They're going to complain. They're going to bring you down. They're going to ruin your day. They're going to take up a lot of your time. They're just no fun. And you know what? I'm going to go out on a limb here and I'm going to assume that you're a nice person, that you want to bring value to your customers, that you want to make the world a better place and ideally make money doing so. So why would you want to have to deal with that? Now, I know I said earlier I wasn't going to share my views on this whole thing, but you know what? I have to say, when it comes to selling to specific groups, there are two colors. Yeah, that's right. Two colors that I happen to like the most, and that being black and blue. That's right, because you know what? That's the color of the ink that they use to sign checks. And that works for me. Now, I'm sure you've got some comments on this episode, so feel free to post them down below. You know I'll answer back. And if you like the episode, click like. If you're watching this on LinkedIn or Facebook, head over to marktv.net and catch more Marc TV episodes. And if you think it'll be of value to anyone you know, click share. Let the world know you've got great taste in, well, video. Anyway, as always, I'm Marc Gordon, and you've been watching Marc TV.